Standards, I do outreach and education for them. And basically, I help support small businesses and kind of learning about what they need to know. I help support workers, and I help support organizations who support both of those groups. So what we're really looking at today is we're going to go over a little bit of what the Bureau of Labor Standards does. It's very short PowerPoint, just very brief go over. And what we're really looking at is we offer online and print materials, and we're very curious, and I'll put some of the online up on the screen too so you can actually see what it looks like online as opposed to printed out. We're really looking for suggestions about how we can make our materials more user-friendly and what you would like to see, what would be helpful, because especially for farming, it's not a 9-to-5 job. You know, there are times when you need to find information and not necessarily during business hours. So we want to make sure that we're providing that in a really effective and useful way for you. So, all right, we're going to test me in technology. So John Rio is currently our deputy director, so he kind of oversees operations right now. We will have a new director coming in on February 6th. So the Maine Bureau of Labor Standards, we're going to do just a quick overview. We have the State Monitor Advocate. If you've ever worked with any MSW workers, you've probably met our previous State Monitor Advocate, who is Jorge. He just retired. We have the Wage and Hour Division, Workplace Safety and Health Division, Research and Statistics Division, and then you have me, the Outreach and Education, and I'm really more of a subdivision because it's me. So, okay. Basically, our goal is compliance. You know, our first priority is to make sure that all Maine workers are receiving the wages they're owed and that they get their benefits and protections that they are, you know, required to get under law. We promote consistent application of law because we really want to level the playing field for all those businesses who are doing a great job and following the law. If you have a business who isn't, it kind of brings things down for everyone. So we offer guidance to ensure that the community is meeting those laws, and we really want to be proactive about that rather than reactive. We'd rather have people call in and say, this is what I'm doing, is this correct? And us say, yeah, that's perfect, keep doing it that way, or no, time cards should be done this way, and here, let us explain how and why you do it that way, and kind of help people correct before it becomes an issue. So to that end, you know, we have a call center, and we'll get to that a little bit more. But we really want to make sure that we're there to help employers because, especially if you're a small business, you're wearing all the hats. You know, you're running the business, you're having to be your own HR, you're probably out doing the field work as well, you're doing everything. And there's a lot of changes that come down. So we want to be that resource that people turn to and say, okay, new law, what does this mean for us? And be able to get that answer. And we also like to, you know, make sure that we are protecting those populations and communities that are most vulnerable to exploitation so that they're getting their fair wages and their benefits that they deserve. So we're really there to help both sides of the work community. So the State Monitor Advocate is for migrant and seasonal farm workers. Like I said, have you had MSWs work with you before? No? Okay. So basically that is our farm workers who come up seasonally, help out. The State Monitor Advocate is just there to ensure that, you know, the process goes smoothly for both the farmer and the workers. Okay. The Wage and Hour Division has a staff of a director, chief inspector, 8 inspectors, a field investigator, and office specialists. And they are the ones who are going out and enforcing the law. But like I said, we're also doing something that's really proactive, which is, you know, come to us for guidance as well. We have a phone number you can call. We have an online portal that people can access. So they're going to make sure that, you know, businesses are in compliance with the Maine statutes. They're going to really be looking at making sure that minors in the workplace are safe and doing jobs that, you know, that they are allowed to do under our state laws. And they also go over prevailing wage information for some industries and help with that. Okay. Workplace Safety and Health has a staff of a director, 2 program managers, 4 enforcement inspectors, 10 safety and health consultants, and 2 support staff. And what they do is they will come into businesses for free and say, hey, we will do a consultation for you. So if federal OSHA came in, you already know, where might be problem areas. So they'll go in, they'll do an inspection, say here's what needs to be corrected, but there are no ramifications to that other than helping the business figure out how to correct the safety issues that they may have. So they also offer a wealth of classes. I don't know if you stopped by our DOL booth yet, but we have a calendar there that has all of the classes that we offer for free throughout the year. And they cover so many different types of safety training that are free for people if they want to be able to get a certification for OSHA or confined space safety, things like that. We also offer some wage and compliance assistance classes. So if you have workers and you're like, payroll, am I doing all this right? It's a really valuable class, and maybe during like an off season, come and take it. And the inspectors who run it, always happy to answer individual questions and individual situations after a presentation. So some really great resources there. They are in person, but they do them throughout the state. So it's not just all Augusta-based. So they do go north. Yeah, okay, so there's one in Brewer, but we've gone I'm trying to remember if it was Caribou or Fort Kent. So we've gone farther north as well. So, but stop by the booth, grab a calendar, everything will be there in the information, along with phone numbers to call if you have any questions about it, okay? So they do all sorts of compliance assistance for both the public and the private sector. SHAPE and SHARP are awards that recognize businesses who've gone above and beyond, which means they're exempt from federal OSHA inspections for 2 years because they maintain such a high safety standard. They're, just like Wage and Hour, they're very passionate about being there and being a support for both workers and businesses, just to help, make a better environment for everyone, okay? So, research and stats, this is probably the one that doesn't deal with public as much, but you can always go on our website. They have a director, supervisor, and 4 researchers. They're really taking all the data and information that we're getting from different companies about injuries, fatalities, everything like that, and kind of giving us that statistical report of those things. They also do the substance abuse testing, and they do construction wage surveys. So they're our number crunchers and our data analysts, basically, okay? And then you get to me. So I provide education and outreach, and I really try to tailor that to whatever people will need. As far as we have our base presentations that I can give, but if there's something I know is a particular interest to one industry, we'll make sure we'll spend a little bit more time on it, things like that. So I work with small businesses, I work with diverse communities, and then I work with the support systems that support both of those. I provide training about how BLS works. I provide training about worker rights. I provide training about employers, things that they need to know. And then I will refer people out to different DOL resources if it's applicable. And then, and this is the crux of the thing today, I ensure that our online materials are accessible to all Mainers. And a lot of that is making sure that, if they use a screen reader or something like that, that the document will read correctly. But one of the things that we've really been looking at, and I don't know, would you be able to pop up in my web browser? I have our State of Maine webpage. So, like I said, people access our materials in different ways. And so what I'm really looking at, yeah, and if you could just scroll it for me, is we have our web page, and then I have 2 examples of our print material, which I know that the Employer's Guide to Youth Employment isn't really perfectly valid for you because youth employment looks different in the farming community. But what we were hoping is people could look at our resources today, and like I said, because it's just us, this might be a nice and quick and intimate conversation, but just looking at the materials itself and say, okay, what is helpful about this? What would be, is this something I would pick up and reference if I could not, give a quick call to the Bureau? So there's that one, and which other, there should be like right under the slideshow one, there should be one other print material which is about cannabis in the workplace. Oh, it's in the back? Oh, that's okay, it's in the very, very back then. And so I guess what I'll do is I'll just give you kind of a few minutes to look at our print materials, and then I'm going to have Tina be our recorder about, hey, this is really good about this type of print material, or here's some things we think we'd like to see if we were going to pick up something and actually have it be useful for us. Yes, so our posters, so, and as paid family. Yep. So I'll give you a few moments to look at that, and then we'll just have a bit of a conversation. And so I remember both, Tina. What I might do is have, because I was going to go, Tina, I might have you sit in back if you want, and maybe do some clicking through the website so they can see where things go. Does that make sense? On my laptop back there? Well, they can see where things are. Yeah, so I'm just like, okay, if we click here, this is where it comes to, kind of thing. So I have one Tina writing and one Tina clicking. Thank you. He's got it right back there, so. Yeah, and then the rest of the materials are print examples of the online, but we'll kind of click through the online a little bit and see what looks helpful. So, but just let me know when you guys are ready, when you feel like you've looked at the print enough. And then I know, sorry.
So much.
I know.
There's a whole lot of material to digest. We have so much information for you. Just call us.
We do. Yep. So just these two are these right here are the print materials. The rest are like printed out online examples.
Oh,
but
okay.
Because we're a small group, she says happily, we'll be able to kind of click on our actual website and kind of show you what the website looks like. Because printouts of websites are just, they are what they are. This is a publication, this is a publication, and this is a publication. These three. Yep.
Okay.
Yes. And we're just trying to get a sense of what's useful in our print materials.
Well, this one is nice. It's one page.
Okay.
And
So
it's one page. It's bulleted. You know, it has highlights you can easily find.
okay, perfect.
Subject information.
Okay.
Yeah, that. And this whole new thing that totally.
Yes, which you can totally keep it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, this is
okay. How about we're going to say like the contact information? Is that eye-catching enough for you as well? Having it down boxed as well? Okay.
Yeah, the whole layout of this is
Okay.
very user-friendly.
So it gives you that good overview.
Yep. Key points. Highlights.
Okay.
As an employee?
As an
Employee reading this?
Yep.
Spot on.
Okay. So feels like it gives you good information as an employee.
So like the format, the layout, the bullet points, so forth. And I'm old school, and I like the KISS principle.
You like the print? Yep.
No, the KISS.
The KISS. Oh, keep it simple. Yep. I'll leave off the last S, but yes, keep it simple. Yes.
But yeah, this is very, very simple. It reads well. Yeah.
Okay.
As an employee.
As an employee and as an employer.
There's
Both
a-
of you found that helpful.
There's a phone number too, right?
Yes, it'll be down in.
Okay, you don't see it?
Oh,
no,
you
no,
know
no,
what?
no.
Paid Family Medical Leave does not have a phone number, but
They-
every other poster does.
Yeah, they do.
And they put it
now,
right
yeah.
in that nice little box.
Yep. And actually, because I helped develop this and I will be updating it, the phone number will probably be added with one other thing that we're going to add to the poster. So it'll be coming soon for that one. But yes, she's right. Most of our posters all have a phone number for contact information.
If actually we have Tina click on a poster, they can see where the phone numbers are located
Yep.
on any other poster.
Yeah, so if you can go in, do you know where posters are, Tina?
Scroll all the way down to pre-labor posters.
Yep. So the posters are one that kind of, they're both online, but they're predominantly print is what we do with them. So they're in posters and forms.
So, I haven't been to the website, talking about this in particular. This is interesting, change, because it has, there's an employer perspective and there's an employee perspective.
Yes, which is very nice, actually.
And, I didn't know if any of the materials were laid out in that fashion, like, he wanted information, can he go to his site?
A separate.
That's,
that would be a
user-friendly
suggestion for,
him,
yes, and an employer site.
And then one that's user-friendly for me.
Okay, we do not have that on our website right now,
That's
so
just a
that's,
thought.
that is a good thought. So, and that's great, so I will get it right over there for that. So yeah, if you scroll down to the bottom of the poster, Tina, so she just pulled up one as an example. Yeah, so always in the box, we should always have for more information contact, and there should be phone numbers available. So that will be coming on this poster. They are PMFL is a brand new, paid family and medical leaves, brand new.
Yep.
And so they're developing some things as they get ready for rollout for that. So, okay, so poster, we've got a lot of good feedback. What about something like the booklet?
Booklet, so this is for, youth labor.
Yeah, and I realize it's not
but it's not farm
perfectly
youth.
applicable. Yeah, it's not.
So where am
farm.
I gonna find farm youth
There's
labor?
actually farm,
Is there a
Are
section
there
there
for it?
is
Is
some
there a
farm
section?
in here. We have
Okay,
the
thank
hazardous
you.
occupations listed for the agriculture. That is it, because farm labor is usually covered only by USDOL, not BLS, so like they wouldn't need a work permit or anything like that. So what we cover for agriculture is the hazardous occupations that are set by USDOL.
What
Okay.
I mostly need is age eligibility.
Right, and that's
Okay.
where the hazardous occupations come in.
Okay,
So,
but the question is, would you have thought to look under hazardous occupations to be
No.
able to find that information? So maybe with print we
Well,
can.
somebody comes in and,
We need
I
something
know
that
there's
says
students,
farm.
you know, I wanna hire
Farm
them,
information, yes.
it's not a hazardous thing, I know that.
so this
Okay.
would
So
be
how
where
old do
it
they have to
starts.
be, is what I
Right.
need to know.
Any age, your agriculture. So any
So-
age of agriculture is fine.
But aren't there some that
So this
needs
is
a parent approval or a parent note?
Only if it's a non-agricultural space. So if they're doing the storefront, I'm sorry, I help with work permits.
Yeah.
Yes, she
So
does,
if-
and she's
if they
an
do
expert
the
on it.
storefront, if they're helping with the farm stand, you might have to do a work permit, and that's on the parents to get the work permit process going. You just let them know your contact information and duties. They bring it to the superintendent, who bring it to us,
Right.
who get it moving. But this is the contact that you want.
Minimum age.
Yep, nope, that's just minimum.
That's not
This
minimum.
is the contact.
You say there's
right
no
here.
minimum age.
Nope.
It
No, they
doesn't
can
say
be
that.
10, 12.
Right, okay,
Because
so.
it's a USDOL.
Yep.
So MDOL doesn't have, they have more on the website
Which we can go into for you, for
for
sure.
agriculture than they do in the booklet.
Okay.
So
So that's
is there a
different.
minimum wage under US?
Not for agriculture.
Yeah.
So the
So-
We have
agriculture
some
is the
guidance that we
difference.
reference that talks about
Yeah.
different ages and
Yeah, if
different.
they need a
Right.
work permit for that, like the storefront or something like that, they've got to
No,
be
but
14.
just for
Yeah.
picking, I don't.
No,
Yeah.
we don't even do work permits at all for them. So as long as it's not
We
a
have some
hazardous
guidance we have
occupation.
that
Yes, the
talks
hazardous
about
occupation.
12-year-old, 13-year-old.
Yep,
Yep.
and those are all under the USDOL hazardous occupation list.
Okay, yep, so what I'm hearing then
Yeah.
is in that, it's not intuitive for farmers to know where to go to find the information you need. What about just the layout of it itself? Is that something you would pick up and look at and go, okay, this is handy?
Yeah, I mean, the table of contents is great.
Okay,
And, there's a lot of information.
okay, so
I would think.
TOC,
Yeah.
okay. All right, so maybe just laying out a specific bullet for farmers to draw attention to that under hazardous materials or something like that would be helpful, or hazardous occupations, not materials, sorry. But that would be helpful to kind of draw your attention there as an employer.
Yeah, a topic that's it for agricultural workers.
Okay, all right, that's good to know.
Well, it is agriculture, it's special occupation, agriculture, page 20.
Okay, all right, so the
See?
booklet is handy and
All
helpful
right.
then, yep,
What does that mean?
okay.
What's on page 20?
Under special occupations B.
Well, how come there's not, so this is not here's the title, Special Occupations Agriculture. So when I go to page 20, I'm looking, it should say agriculture, right?
Correct.
So where does it say agriculture?
In that nice tiny writing.
So maybe, yeah, so maybe look at how some of our headings and things are done to draw more attention to. Now for you too, just looking at it as an employee, so if you were gonna pick up a booklet, just maybe on employee rights, okay, maybe not so much youth, is that type of layout, do you find that
For
helpful
me,
as
it
well?
would be okay,
Okay,
okay, my generation, others may not, it may not be.
right,
You know
yep,
what I'm saying?
people who are more online, or.
Yeah, more computer savvy, more the Gen X and millennials.
Mhm.
I'm a baby boomer and, have a different outlook,
Mhm.
because I come from a different
Oh,
generation,
yeah,
a different
yep.
work ethic. It doesn't, I understand it doesn't need to be.
Yep, and I'm that last
Out loud.
generation that was, you know, over half
Right.
non-computer and then computer, so I'm like right on that cusp, so I do know what you're saying there.
But for me, as an employee,
Mhm.
it's, I understand it and I know what I'm reading.
Mhm.
For me, it's okay. For him, I understand his concerns.
So it's about being able to more easily find the
to find-
information
Yeah,
that he needs.
because this is geared for him.
Mhm, yep,
He's the farm owner, he's the one that's, you know, that, quote, signs a check at the end of the week, and he's gonna, I know that he has a list of regulations he needs to follow as far as employees are concerned. So
Yep.
this is more, as an employee, no.
okay, but if there were something that was geared more toward employee, this sort of layout,
This work would
works well.
work fine,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
you
and that's
could-
kind of what we're looking at, what's working in the layouts,
yeah,
what
you know,
isn't.
And you could bullet a lot of this stuff.
Okay, so
geared
maybe a
towards
little
an
bit more
employee
bullets.
view versus an employer.
Okay. All right, so we had one other one-page handout. It was the cannabis one, which again, like I said, it might not be as relevant to what you need, but it's an example of what some of our print material looks like. How is the layout on that one?
Well,
Okay, I'm
there's
gonna,
a lot
here's
of-
suggestions
There's a lot of
coming.
smaller print. There's a lot of,
So, for suggestions. Oh,
there's a lot of small print and a lot of, it's, looks like it's the law.
Okay, yep,
Yeah.
so
That's been,
that's been put on,
just
yeah.
copied.
Yeah.
Okay, and so,
Which makes it, you know, here's like this whole wordy paragraph.
okay, so maybe something for that one, we're hearing larger print, but also possibly a summary or an explanation.
right.
Yeah, or maybe distilled down into bullet points like this.
Okay, so something, so make that look something more like the poster does, where it
Right.
gives you the
Right.
relevant points.
You know,
Okay?
You'd have to read along to get the high points of this document.
Right. So Tina, can I have you go back to the main page of the online? So thank you so much. I love how much that we have up here as far as what's working, what, you know, other things that we consider as we're working on our materials. So the other thing then, and can you go, you'll have to go back to the other tab, yeah. So if you could scroll up to the top. So this is how our main page at the Bureau of Labor Standards is currently set up. So if you can close up labor laws for me, just real quickly. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm being a pain, thank you. And then, so right now we have everything in the form of, we have our overarching topics and then drop downs within them. And so I guess what we're really kind of looking at is how intuitive is that for, because I mean, obviously we all know what's in there because we're the people that put it there. But if you were sitting there going, okay, what's a topic that you might want to find out about and go, okay, I'll go look on the web, do you know, like with workers? You talked about the youth and the hazardous occupations.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you scroll up and kind of show them all our options, Tina, real quickly? Thank you. Oh, yeah, kind of. Yeah, there you go. So would you kind of intuitively know where you wanted to go within those drop downs or no? To look for that information.
as it is?
Yeah, so if you're looking for youth, you're like, I wanna find out more about the youth and make sure that I don't have them doing something
Yeah,
hazardous.
it'd be labor laws.
Yeah, okay. So if you click on labor laws for me, please, Tina, thank you. All right, and then we do have child labor's laws and labor rules, so if you could go to that page, Tina.
Yeah.
Okay, and just kind of do a quick scroll first. How helpful is this layout for you? Just with this type of breakdown of things? Pretty, okay. All right, so as you're coming into like the first pages, is there anything that you would like to see where you could say, you know, I can click on this and I know it's farm related, or I can click on this and I know it's employee related? Is there anything like that, or as you're sitting there looking at the webpage, are you like, well, this works okay for me?
Yeah, I know there's exemptions and exceptions for agricultural workers.
Mm-hmm.
So I can go into those and hopefully within them it'll mention the exception.
Okay, so where would you go then to
Yeah,
look
but
at?
I guess what I'm saying is,
How would you get there?
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna find it. Be nice if it was, if there was a special,
So the federal prohibited occupations wouldn't be a good wording for that, right?
Right, so that's kind of what we're looking at is how intuitive is it. So it's like we have a wealth of information here, and it is wonderful information. We just want people to be able to find it and know where to go for
there's a
it.
drop down for agricultural,
Okay.
for agricultural labor laws.
Okay.
Exceptions are specific agricultural labor.
Okay, so
rights.
I'm gonna ask you to, I guess, let's see. Why don't you go ahead and go into federal prohibited occupations for me, Tina, and then just scroll up, and I just wanna see what that layout
Yeah.
looks like for you. Yep, there she goes. And again, if it's user-friendly in the context of, here's what you're looking
Yeah.
at.
Maybe it is.
Okay, yeah, and then you'll have to scroll down.
No, it's hard to do it without a mouse.
It is.
It is
Oh,
so
yeah.
hard
Yeah,
to do without a
she's
mouse.
back there being our magic lady.
In her
So-
defense, she has no mouse.
Yeah, so if you, and I don't know if you can keep scrolling up just a little bit. So this is how it's laid out now. We do have bullet points, but it is, they're columns.
Yeah.
And so how useful is this then, as you're going through, just reading wise on a computer
That's
screen?
hard.
That's hard,
Yeah, it's
okay.
too narrow.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of scrolling in these things.
okay.
And you don't.
Yeah, and see-
You don't see the bullet, you know, the bold print dividers as easily, cause there's only one per
yeah.
screen here.
And were you able to see the child labor on farms, or did that just kind of scroll right past your eyes there because there wasn't anything to kind of
Right.
draw it out?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe no, yeah, because yeah, so you missed your header.
We could hire that.
Okay, so the information itself is good, but we want to look at maybe changing up the format
Yeah.
for it to make it
Yeah.
more user-friendly for you.
Absolutely.
Okay, but in finding it, we're
Farm
gonna say
labor.
too, finding it because it was
It's
just,
nice that it has its own heading, farm labor.
right, but what I'm hearing is it's possible to scroll past that without realizing you hit that heading.
Yeah, so
Okay. And no, and like I said, this is exactly what we're looking for,
Yeah,
because this
okay.
helps us look at, okay, how do we redo this so that
Yeah.
if you're going in as an employee, you're funneled right to what you need without having to go through all of the things. And if you're looking for the farm stuff, how do you get funneled
Yeah.
exactly
It'd
to
be
what
nice if farm
you
labor
need?
was a bullet
Was a
on
bullet,
the
yeah,
ori-
it's
on the
separate bullet.
original one, when you had all those bullets.
Okay, yep, so as we come back to that first overview page ahead, and like I said, that's a wealth of information. You can find out everything you need to know about child
Yeah.
labor is
Right.
amazing, and it's on that page, and it's so much good stuff. But we wanna make sure that it's usable, good stuff.
Yeah.
But from my point of view,
Uh-huh.
it was, if it had its own bullet, let's say like underneath school attendance had its own bullets, farm labor, then you segregated it out, so a person like him is looking for the information, there it is.
Can easily move to it.
You need to move to, you know,
Okay.
I mean, federal prohibited occupations, you can see, there's quite a few different sub
Right.
bullets underneath it. From my point of view, after the second bullet, I'm probably saying, how the heck with this, cause there's just too much verbiage.
There
Okay,
is.
so much that it gets overwhelming.
Well, it doesn't,
Well-
it leaves you frustrated because that's not what you're looking for.
Right, okay, so looking.
That's from my point of view.
No, and this is exactly what we want, so thank you both so much for being here, because you're giving us some really, really good feedback. Okay, so, other things as far as just the look of the page itself, does it kind of welcome you in? Do you wish there was something else there to kind of visually change up the screens a little bit? Anything like that? Okay. All right, so what I'm.
So what's it say under minimum age for employment?
Oh, and Tina is on it for us. Minimum age for employment? Okay. So again, it's the same type of setup.
Yeah.
And you do have some, bold there, but is it effective in the context of how it's physically set up on the page for you?
Yeah, again, it's the narrow column of text that
Okay.
messes up the effectiveness of the bold categories. You know, if there was
Okay.
more text per screen, scan down through, find the bold subsection that you were looking for.
And I believe if you scroll down a little more, you'll find the part where it says non-agricultural, and then if you go down, it should say something about agriculture, right there, Tina. Not applied to any. It doesn't.
Okay, it was up a little bit actually, and then again,
Okay.
it comes to where is it at as you're scrolling through, do you miss it, do you not?
Yeah.
So, like I said, this has been a lot of really good feedback about just being able to make it more reader friendly and more usable for the eyes, so that you're not just getting frustrated and going, well, whatever, or sliding past it because you had so much in the column. So, okay, yeah, so I mean, like I said, this has been really, really valuable feedback for us. And we've been doing a couple of these different listening sessions with various sectors of
Yeah.
employers and just trying to see what we can do to really make this work well for you. So I guess one of the other questions I'd like to ask is, if you need to get a hold of Department of Labor, what would be your go-to? Would it be, I'm gonna call, I'm gonna email, I'm gonna check out the print material, I'm gonna go online? What would be your go-to?
Go to the Department of Labor, just type in Department of Labor, Maine Department of Labor, get a link to them.
Okay, so,
And, probably scan what's available on the website. And call if I don't see the information I need
for a clarification?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, is there anything else on the website that you'd like to see or review? Okay. So, and I don't even know where we're at for time. Like I said, we do have obviously a smaller group today, but you both have given us some really, really good feedback that really kind of hits some points that we've been looking at about what do we do to make this more effective.
Okay.
So are there other things that you'd like to add in terms of that, or do you feel like you've given us a pretty good overview?
Without, actually going through it a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
thinking with that critical mindset, I guess that's what I can share with you.
Yep. Well, what I can
First
also do is I
blush.
can give you both my card too, and if you
Yeah.
ever are on the website, you're like, oh, and there was also this, that way you have a way to contact me
Yeah.
and just be able to say, hey Heidi,
Mhm.
did you guys think about this too? Because we do have some pages that are very dense on what the materials they offer and things, and so knowing that, hey, bullet point a little bit more, make sure that we've got wider text, make sure that we've got maybe bigger bolded areas to make those sections easier to find. Or like you said, a page that's like, here's for farmers, and you can click,
Yeah.
you can find the links, and maybe they're taking you back to the same information, but it's directly to your
Yeah,
information.
they can, take it back.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, I know this did not go as long as we planned, but, it's depends on how many voices you have in the room, and like I said,
That's right.
you've given us so much wonderful feedback, and really appreciate your time.
Okay.
So,
Very
all right,
welcome.
but I am gonna give you a card before we go. go, so you're stuck with
Sure,
the
no,
card,
that's
so,
fine.
okay.
And maybe with.
All right, so we are basically at a wrap line.
Yeah. There's a document that we keep highlighted in our child employment HR. notebook. I'll start giving names.
No, we do too.
Thank you.
It's a USDOL thing.
I'm
Yeah.
also
So that's why there's a lot of the.
separate from him.
Uh-huh.
I also,
But a lot of
am like the
so if you
secretary of
look
the
on
town
these
council
minors,
in Van Buren.
Oh,
Things,
okay.
you'll see again the
We
phone
do
number
folks on a lot of
for
different
the
jobs,
agriculture
whatever,
people,
but
Well-
and then it will
this
give
is
you
good
the
to know.
address.
Yeah, and if
too,
you're, I
which
do
one's
like a
18,
longer
20.
presentation than what I
Sure.
just gave you on what Bureau of Labor Standards does. So if you'd ever like me to come up and just kind of say, hey,
That
town
is
workers,
really hard
here's
to
what,
find. There it is.
here,
Okay, so-
who we are, here's what we do, and I go
Somewhere in
into
there
more
it is.
detail
It's a
Okay.
bold-
about what it
it's a
looks like when
table
you
of
context, what
contents
this means,
item,
what that means.
but you go
I'm
to here
happy
and
to do
it's
those
not-
Yeah, and it's
presentations.
tiny.
Yeah, that would,
It
I
should be one of
think,
these.
Yes, it should be.
because we have two
And then if
girls
you
in
read
our office,
agriculture.
they're pretty sharp,
Uh-huh.
but, we have no
No limits on
Being-
minimum
being-
wage.
HR person, I guess.
Those
Right.
permitted required,
Official,
and then
yeah.
it exists
And
monitor
whatever, the town
explains, well,
manager
that's
would
about
be
marijuana.
here for
Right,
the
so it tells you
HR,
that no permit
economic,
is required, no
welfare,
minimum wage,
any-